Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Matt and I'm jumping into the waters into the credit card YouTube game. We'll talk points, we'll talk travel, we'll talk credit, we'll talk where I've been, where I'm going. I'm new to the points game, I'm new to the travel game, how I'm learning to optimize for those things at this point in life, as I jumped into this much later than some of the other folks in this game. But think there's different perspectives that still can be gained, and I might have something to say. But we'll see. So we'll start with story time, and with that, that would be story of my credit card journey, which started when I was in my teens and got added as an authorized user onto this card. It is now a Gap Barkley card. The card itself, total trash now. 2 points at the Gap and Old Navy and all of those. 1 point it's everywhere else. I don't touch this card. I don't spend on this card. I just have this card because the account is still open. So I can take this card, just fling it away. It was nice getting that as an authorized user. A lot of folks will have to struggle to get their initial cards, whether it's like a Discover It or the Chase Student. I think Discover was on my campus. I was terrified of getting a credit card in my own name as a college student. So that was at least a way to get my credit profile open. And I'm glad that it happened that way as opposed to getting a credit card, never using it, and maybe getting the card closed on me before too long. So, as much as I don't like that card now, it's where I got started. So, a couple of years later, working on a political campaign, my bank called me and asked if I wanted to get a credit card. It is now the Wells Fargo Active Cash. At the time, it was the Wells Fargo Platinum. And the Platinum, I think, was a 1% card at the time. It's no longer offered by Wells. Eventually, the product changed to this. The Active Cash is a flat 2% card. 2% cards are great. And the old cash back, you can't really do much better on a flat card for any sort of spend. It has no categories. It's just you want to buy a coffee, 2% back. You want to open a gym membership, 2%. You want to buy tickets to the Met, 2%. Go to Katz's Deli, 2%. Take a train to Chicago, 2%. So it is a great catch-all card. Next for me would be the Wells Fargo Autograph. I opened this as a Wells Fargo Cashwise card, a 1.5% cashback card. Love the current autograph card. 3x points back on gas, on dining, on streaming, on uh, transport, like public transportation, tolls, parking, things like that. So it is a great base 3x points card. If Wells ever lets you take your Wells points and move them over to Built, it'll be a great card for that. At the moment, there's nothing about that, but we'll see. Hi there, Editor Matt here. Briefly needed to cut in and just fill in a little bit of a blank here because there's going to be a jump cut. I was telling a story about credit card debt and credit card debt I got into and living off of credit cards. It's a story for another time, probably another video, but I skipped over a credit card. It would be this one, the Capital One Quicksilver, and 1.5% card, but it no longer works for me. So we'll just keep that card as it is. I've gotten balance transfers on it, but I did want to cut in with that real quick. And we'll continue back to the video with the next credit card. Sorry for this weird background. So the next card I got was the Apple card. There we go. Everybody likes to claim that the Apple card is useless. Hey, it's a good catch-all card if you've got Apple Pay. Now, using the fancy metal card, that's useless because that's 1%. I'd like to see Apple kind of make things a little bit better by having some elevated cashback for themselves, but giving us 3% cashback. Well, move on to the next card in my collection, which is the Capital One Saver One. So, my credit cards, I have three pretty strong credit cards for cashback and being good catch alls: the Saver One, the Active Cash, and the Autograph. Saver One, as everyone knows, is part of the new duo with the Venture X and I guess the Venture. It's the no annual fee card, 3x back on groceries, 3x back on dining, 3x back on streaming, and it's a good category card. Works as my grocery card a lot of the time just because I don't have another card that does groceries. But it's one of my stronger cards. I do like that one. I got this card in March of 2022. When I started learning about credit cards on YouTube, that card was all the hype. Nobody was sure how it would work out, but there was the waiting list, and I joined the waiting list, and I thought, oh, it's going to be 2x card and everything. And when you read the marketing materials, it was hype because they were going to give you 5 times your credit limit, 5 times the average credit limit. Now I have a huge credit limit on the card, don't get me wrong, but the multipliers aren't great. The spend 15,000 to make it a 3x everything card went away, so now you have to spend $1,000 before it becomes 3x, and then it's another 6,500 for 3x. I don't want to put that kind of spend on that card. The redemptions are 1 cent per point at like Apple and Allbirds and RE. I think is one of them tonight. Maybe Southwest. You can't transfer the points. You redeem through their shop, and you have to pay for your redemption in full. You can redeem your Amazon Prime membership at less than a cent per point, your Costco membership at less than a cent per point, cashback as a statement credit less than a cent per point is 0.7 cents per point cashback, and 0.7 cents per point redeeming to buy stocks, which it doesn't look like you can do fractional shares. You might be able to, I don't know, but it's not something I'm keen to do. I've got other investing apps that I'm more confident in having my money in than a fintech credit card company that promised a lot and hasn't fully delivered in terms of their product. Now, what I will say about the X1 card and the X1 company in general is that their customer service is amazing. You can reach them via text. They explain whatever the issue is. They'll break it down for you. I've had to contact them a couple different times over various billing issues, but things eventually got ironed out with no problem. So their customer service is amazing. The product leaves almost everything to be desired. I will be soft drawing that card at some point as soon as I get some better cards to kind of offset it. Right now, I use it for Amazon to have my player two on it. She's going to get some different authorized user cards from me, and we're going to soft draw that card at some point. Will I lose my credit limit? Probably. If I do, I'll probably shut down the card, make sure that I pay it off in full, and keep it on my report in good standing. So after I learned what 524 was, after I learned the importance, well, not really importance, but like the things you can do with travel. I realized that I had some travel this year for a friend's wedding and wanted to get in on the fun. I was going to apply for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, $95 annual fee, pretty easy to offset with a hotel, a bunch of different things, but I got a mail offer. I got a mail offer from Chase for this, the Sapphire Reserve. And I got it because I was 524 and needed a credit card, needed a travel card. As I said, had travel coming up, and was planning on renting. And one of the best redemptions you can do, or best ways to juice up some points with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, is book a rental through the Chase Travel Portal at 10x. So I did that. I booked a couple of hotels at 10x, or with 10x on the travel portal, and was offered a 70,000 point bonus on spend for the card. So I did that. I got the Sapphire Reserve. I have to look at my travel plans for next year. I might downgrade that card. I don't know. Got that card to make it 524, which you'd think, okay, so that's his 524. That's got to be his last card, right? No. And it's not even my last Chase card. So about a month after Chase sends me their mail invite for the Sapphire Reserve, they sent me one for this, the Chase Slate Edge. Now, the Slate Edge is just their balance transfer card. It's a credit builder card or rebuilder card, 0% in introductory APR for 18 months. It's 0% balance transfer card for 18 months. The card has a couple unique benefits that I think most people sleep on. One is if you spend $500 on the card and pay off your $500 within the first 6 months, you're automatically in review for a credit line increase. Would be helpful. The bigger thing is that if you spend $1,000 in a year and you pay off everything on time and in full, you can be reviewed to have your interest rate, your APR drop 2% every year until you get down to like base plus 9.74% or whatever it is. So you could effectively have a very low interest rate card that's just good for if you need to put a large balance on something and you're not 100% sure that you're going to be able to cover it, but you're not going to get a crippling like 25% interest on. The other thing you could do is product change the card into a freedom card after you've done what you need to do with it as the Slate Edge, and now you've got a freedom card. Yeah, you're not going to get the sign up bonus on it, but you can probably open another freedom card in the interim. Why did I get that card? I was offered multiple balance transfers across the Zero One, the Quicksilver, and the Active Cash in the last year. Anytime I'm offered a balance transfer, I'll take it. This way, like I'm moving things around, but the bank's letting me park my money for a little while. As long as it doesn't kill my utilization, this way I'm at least showing the bank, hey, you've offered me something, I'm going to use the thing you've offered me. And I keep things manageable. I always make sure that if I'm going to do it, it's something that I know I can pay. So Chase offered me that, and it was a way to just kind of take those multiple balances that I was futzing around with and turn it into just one payment. So is it the best idea? Well, it's 0%, so what's it matter? Is my setup a great setup? No. Is my setup the setup that knowing what I know now I would do? No. I have a couple of strong cards, a couple of weak cards, and over time I'm going to get rid of the weak cards, replace them with stronger cards, and keep those on my credit report for 7 to 10 years as long as I close them in good standing. I'll lose some big credit lines, but as long as I replace them with bigger or better credit lines, I really see the loss. I've got 3 cards lined up for my next credit cards. I'm going to be focusing on hotel cards. First will probably be a Hilton card. I'm up in the air between the Honor and Pass. Both have free night certificates. It's a question of do I want another annual fee card right now? Maybe, maybe not. The second one, once they drop below 524, because if you count it, I'm at 6. And so there was the active cash that I opened and closed. There was the Apple card, the Saver one, the X one was 4, Sapphire Reserve was 5, and then I opened the Slate Edge. So I can do one more card. 3 of those cards will come off relatively soon. Then I drop to 424, and I can look at the Chase World of Hyatt card. Really want to get that card just to keep at the very least always discover us and look up. And then the other card would be the Buildmaster card, which I love that card and really would like it, but the multipliers on that card, except for rent, I'll cross over with things like good travel multipliers with the Sapphire Reserve. Strong tiny multipliers with the Sapphire Saver One, the Autograph, they're all 3%. And built is no different, except on rent day when built could give me 6, or if I put my built wallet, if I use the built wallet for dining and get an extra 5x back, but I could get that same built dining with the Sapphire Reserve and the Autograph, which I signed up for. And then I gotta go to New York City or any of the other 4 cities that have things. So we'll see what happens from there. But those are my credit cards for now. And my plan going forward is to start shifting some of these cashback cards or keeping a limited number of cashback cards. I stick to the autograph, the active cash, and the Saver One cashback. Then use other cards for points and miles, whether that's going to be a Chase Freedom Unlimited or the Chase Freedom Flex, or go into the Amex world beyond their Hilton cards. Not 100% sure yet. I don't plan on getting any airline cards at the moment. Not someone who particularly loves the experience, not the experience of flying, but like everything about flying. And yes, an airline card and the Sapphire Reserve or the Venture X or the Amex Platinum both that will can do away with a lot of that. But I don't fly enough to justify the platinum. I don't fly enough to justify an airline card. So I'm up in the air about those. But next time I do fly, I know that I'll at least have better travel protections or better travel amenities than I've done so far. Because again, I was team cashback. I didn't know any of this existed. If you like my setup, feel free to like or comment. If you like what you've seen, feel free to subscribe and see where this goes. It's a bit of a social experiment for me. It's way out of my comfort zone. So let me know what you think. If you don't like it, just pass on by. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you guys next time.